Steve Jobs' story begins in an unconventional way. He was adopted by Paul and Clara Jobs, a loving couple who provided him with a stable and nurturing home. This act of adoption would profoundly shape his life, instilling in him a deep sense of gratitude and a desire to make his mark on the world. The Jobs family resided in Mountain View, California, a burgeoning suburban area right in the heart of what would eventually explode into the technological epicenter known as Silicon Valley. This location would prove to be incredibly influential, exposing him to the world of electronics and innovation from a young age. His father, Paul Jobs, was a skilled machinist with a meticulous eye for detail. He instilled in young Steve a deep appreciation for craftsmanship, teaching him to care about every single aspect of a project. Paul emphasized the importance of precision and quality, even in the smallest, most hidden components, the ones no one would ever see. This dedication to excellence would become a hallmark of Steve's own work ethic. From an early age, Jobs was a curious and often rebellious child, questioning everything and challenging the status quo. He was often bored by the rigid structure of school and found himself drawn to more creative pursuits, exploring art, design, and electronics with equal enthusiasm. He enrolled at Reed College, but soon found the academic environment stifling and disconnected from his passions. After just one semester, he made the bold decision to drop out. However, he didn't leave entirely. He stayed on as a drop-in student, attending only the classes that truly fascinated him, most notably a course on calligraphy. During this time, he embraced a minimalist lifestyle, often sleeping on friends' floors and relying on free meals at the local Hare Krishna temple. In his calligraphy class, he immersed himself in the art of typography, learning about the nuances of different fonts and the principles of great design, a passion that seemed utterly useless and impractical at the time. Years later, Jobs reflected on this period, saying, "You can't connect the dots looking forward, you can only connect them looking backward." He understood that seemingly random experiences can later reveal themselves to be pivotal moments. Seeking deeper meaning and self-discovery, he traveled to India, embarking on a spiritual journey. This experience, combined with his artistic sensibilities, fostered a unique blend of technology and art within him. This fusion of engineering and aesthetics, a marriage of functionality and beauty, would become his signature style, the defining characteristic of his creations. It was this perspective that allowed him to see that technology could be more than just functional. It could be beautiful, personal, intuitive, and deeply human. These early, unconventional choices, these seemingly disparate experiences, ultimately shaped the visionary leader who would go on to change the world in profound and lasting ways. The story of Apple begins in the most unassuming of places, the Jobs family garage in Los Altos, California. This wasn't just any garage, it was the birthplace of a technological revolution, a space where dreams took shape amidst tools and spare parts. It was here that the dynamic duo of Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak combined their unique talents. Jobs, the visionary with an eye for design and marketing, and Wozniak, the technical genius capable of turning ideas into reality. Wozniak, driven by his passion for electronics, initially built a computer board purely for his own amusement and intellectual stimulation. But Jobs, ever the entrepreneur, immediately recognized the board's potential. He saw not just a collection of circuits, but a product that could transform the way people interacted with technology and, ultimately, change lives. To bring their vision to life, they needed capital. In a testament to their dedication, they sold their most prized possessions to scrape together the necessary funds to fuel their ambitious dream. And so, in 1976, Apple Computer was officially founded, marking the beginning of an era. The name Apple, a seemingly simple choice, was deliberately selected to convey a sense of approachability, warmth, and user-friendliness, setting it apart from the cold, technical image often associated with computers at the time. They dedicated countless hours, working tirelessly, often late into the night. In that very garage, they meticulously hand-built the first Apple I computers, fulfilling an initial order for a local electronics store. Jobs was adamant that technology should be accessible and intuitive for everyone, not just the domain of tech enthusiasts and specialists. He envisioned a future where personal computers were mainstream tools for everyday people. The success of Apple was deeply rooted in the complementary nature of their partnership, a harmonious blend of creative vision and technical prowess. That humble garage served as their initial assembly line, a testament to their resourcefulness and determination. And fueled by their unwavering passion, they ignited a technological revolution that would forever alter the landscape of personal computing. They weren't simply assembling machines, they were meticulously laying the very foundation for a company that would ultimately redefine the way the world interacts with technology. Apple's humble beginnings, born in a simple garage, marked the genesis of an extraordinary success story, a journey that would inspire generations of innovators and entrepreneurs. The Apple II was a breakthrough, a user-friendly computer for homes and schools, not just engineers. Jobs pushed for a sleek, custom-designed case, believing design mattered as much as function. To grow, they needed business expertise, which came with investor Mike Markkula. Apple transformed from a garage startup to a real company, but the transition was tough. Jobs' perfectionism inspired and frustrated his team, creating a high-pressure environment. Apple faced fierce competition from industry giants like IBM. The Apple III flopped, teaching Jobs that vision alone wasn't enough. Execution mattered. These early setbacks tested Jobs' resolve and shaped Apple's identity. The company learned to balance innovation with practicality. Every struggle was a lesson that fueled their future success. Jobs poured himself into the Macintosh, aiming to make computers intuitive and beautiful. The 1984 launch was iconic, but the Mac's high price and limited power hurt sales. Tensions with Apple's board peaked, and Jobs was forced out of the company he founded. Devastated but undeterred, he called it the best thing that could have happened. Jobs started next, building advanced computers for education, and bought Pixar, a small graphics company. Away from Apple, he rediscovered his creativity and grew as a leader. Pixar would go on to revolutionize animation, while Next's technology quietly advanced. Jobs' time in the wilderness set the stage for an epic comeback. Sometimes failure is the foundation for future greatness. Apple faltered without Jobs, truly struggling to find its way, losing focus and market share in a competitive landscape. In 1996, Apple acquired Next, a pivotal moment, bringing Jobs and his visionary leadership back. As interim CEO, he swiftly slashed unnecessary projects and reignited Apple's creative spirit, fostering innovation. The Think Different campaign celebrated rebels and visionaries, signaling Apple's powerful rebirth. Jobs partnered with designer Jony Ive, sharing a passion for simplicity and elegance in design. Their first major hit, the iMac, a bold, colorful computer that made technology inviting. The iMac's success proved Apple was back on track. Jobs' return restored faith in Apple and set the stage for its most innovative era. Apple was ready to change the world, again. Steve Jobs possessed a rare ability to foresee the future, particularly how technology could seamlessly integrate into our daily lives. He saw the future was mobile and personal, a world where devices were not just tools, but extensions of ourselves. Recognizing an opportunity amidst the digital disruption, he targeted the chaotic music industry, an industry grappling with piracy and struggling to adapt to the internet age. He boldly entered the market, launching the iPod in 2001, a device that promised 1,000 songs in your pocket. This simple yet powerful concept resonated deeply with music lovers. The iPod and iTunes Store, a revolutionary combination, revolutionized how we buy and listen to music, offering a convenient and legal way to access a vast library of songs. It marked a paradigm shift in music consumption. Not content with just transforming the music landscape, Jobs set out to reinvent the phone, envisioning a device that was more than just a communication tool. He aimed at combining music, internet, and seamless communication in one elegant device. In 2007, he unveiled the iPhone, a revolutionary touchscreen device that changed everything we knew about mobile technology. The App Store, launched shortly after, unleashed a wave of innovation, empowering developers and users alike. It transformed the iPhone into a platform for creativity, allowing for endless possibilities and applications. The iPhone didn't just disrupt the phone industry, it fundamentally transformed society, altering how we connect, communicate, and consume information. Continuing his quest for innovation, in 2010, Jobs introduced the iPad, creating an entirely new product category, a space between the traditional laptop and the ubiquitous phone. Initially, critics doubted it, questioning its purpose and necessity. However, the iPad quickly redefined how we consume media, engage with content, and even approach work, proving its versatility and value. Through the iPod, iPhone, and iPad, Jobs orchestrated a powerful trilogy that reshaped our digital lives, leaving an indelible mark on the world of technology. As a result, Apple ascended to become the undisputed leader in personal technology, setting the standard for innovation and design. Steve Jobs' legacy is more than products, it's a philosophy. He believed technology should empower and delight, blending function with beauty. Jobs taught us that design is how something works, not just how it looks. His journey showed that failure can lead to greater success. He inspired us to stay hungry, stay foolish. Jobs' vision lives on in every intuitive device and every creative thinker who dares to dream. He didn't invent everything, but he made technology accessible, elegant, and human. Jobs proved a small, passionate team can change the world. His spirit endures in Apple and in the idea that one person can make a difference. Steve Jobs truly put a dent in the universe.